Hi again. I'm back to go over our Works Cited page now. Before I went over how to, oh, and here's my cat. She's clearly excited and enthused about what we're doing. So we're doing a Works Cited page now. So I just want to go over how to actually do your Works Cited at the end of your essay, because you need a separate page for that, and it must include all the sources that you used in the essay. So we follow MLA format, which stands for the Modern Language Association. We do not follow APA or Chicago or any of those other formats for this English class. All right, so just make sure that you're following MLA if you're looking it up. Now, everything needs to be alphabetical order by the last names of the authors. So A to Z, that's how you organize the order of your sources. If it is 4 or more authors for a same work, you just put the first author's name, and then you put et al., which means and others, so that it just indicates that there's more authors for that. But if it's 1, 2, or 3 authors, then you would actually put them in, and I'll explain how to do that in a minute. You have to indicate if it's web or print where you found it, so you just put the word web or print at the end of the citation, which I'll show you. If it's the web, you must also include the access date that you accessed it. So you have to include that there. It's a rule from the MLA, so just make sure that you follow along with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to show us an example of how we would actually do this using our text from our class. And your little Seagull handbook is going to come in handy with this, because it actually gives you information on how to cite everything, whether it's a blog, an email, there's even citations for emails, if it's a song, a poem, of course books, journals, magazines, so many different things that you would need to cite, and it actually includes all of them there, so you will have that resource to look at. So here's our book, right? Language Awareness. So we could see what it says. It says Readings for College Writers. That's the subtitle. 13th edition. And we have 3 authors, Paula Schultz, Alfred Rosa, and Virginia Clark. The rest of the info is going to be right in here when you open it up to the first page. That's how you find it, right? It says Bedford St. Martin's, so that's the publisher. It says Boston and New York, which are 2 publishing locations. Just pick one and use it. And then you turn the page, you see the copyrights and the publishing dates. So in this case, we've had many editions of this book. So it says 2020, 2016, 2013, and 2009. So you go by the latest date because you're showing that that's the 13th edition that you're following. So that's the info we're going to need here. So let's start our Works Cited. Okay, so the first author's name is last name, comma, first name. So it's S. Schultz, right? S. Schultz, comma, Paul. Now we have more authors, so there's a comma, right? For the next ones, you just put their name regularly, like Alfred Rosa, comma, and then we indent for the next line, okay, to show that it's the same source together, and Virginia Clark, period. Now we actually put the name of the book, which is Language Awareness. Now, if you are on a computer, you can use italics for a book, right? But we're not on a computer now, so I'm using underlining just to show. Okay, and the sub part of that, I'll put a colon, Readings for College Writers. Readings for College Writers, comma, 13th edition, period. Okay, so the next thing that we do is we look up the place of publication. Now I'm just going to use New York. Okay, then you do a colon. Then you put the publisher, which is Bedford St. Martin's. And then you put a comma, and then you put the publication date, which in this case is 2020. And in this case, it's a book that's actually in print. So you write the word print and then a period. So let's just recap a little bit. Okay, so last name of the author, comma, first name. Then we have the other 2 authors here. Then we have Language Awareness, Readings for College Writers, underlined or italicized, comma, 13th edition, period, publishing location, which is New York, colon. Then we have the publisher, which is Bedford St. Martin's, comma, the year it was published, 2020, and then the word print to indicate that it's printed. I'm going to do one more to show what we would do from the web if we were looking up an article, which I'm assuming a lot of you are going to be doing. So I'm just going to use a random example here. Okay, so let's just say it's John Smith. Okay, so we're going to do Smith, comma, John, right, period. the name of the article, because this is an article, so articles go in quotation marks. Okay, so books are italics or underlined, articles are in quotation marks. Okay, so Science in America. So that's the name of the article, right? Right here, period. Now, where is it published? It was published in, let's say, I'm going to make up a name, National Geographic, okay? So let's say it's in National Geographic. So National Geographic is the larger work that it's in. So that's like, let's say the magazine, okay? So that would be italics or underlined because that's the actual magazine. So this is the article in the magazine, and then this is the magazine itself. Okay, and then what we do is the date. So what date was this published? Let's just say it was 2019, right? So we have 2019, and then it was from the web, right? So we put web, and now we have to include our access date. Okay, so what was our access date? Let's just say, I don't know, today or yesterday, right? So you put 20 Oct 2020. I know it looks a little funny, but that's the format that's expected of us. So it's actually the 21st, like the date, and then Oct 2020. So that should be okay enough to get started. And then, of course, you can consult your Little Seagull Handbook for all the other questions that you might have, because there's a lot of questions we may come across when doing these sources. All right, so hopefully that helps, and I will see you on the discussion boards.